So for the Chapter 5 assignment, we were tasked to have four goals, two personal and then two educational goals that are supposed to be timely and measurable as well as realistic. So, saying I wake up a millionaire tomorrow, but I'm relying on God's grace for that, it's not realistic. That's measurable, very timely, but also saying, I want to die at the age of 90. That's not timely, nor is that something that's in my hands. So I would make the argument that's not measurable. Personal goals is I'd like to be married by the time I'm 21. I'm engaged to be married. Met the woman I love. So I'm very excited for that, and I hope that God would provide for that. So in the next year and a half, the next year, I would like to be married. Now, is that realistic? Well, she said yes to the engagement, so I would assume that she would want to marry me. Is it timely? I don't think 12 months is unrealistic for planning and savings and things like that. Is it measurable? Well, if in a year from now I'm married, then yes. For that would be, saving the dates and, on Facebook, changing of status, things like that most public could see. A second personal goal of mine is to buy and restore a Saab Sonnet 3. So a Saab Sonnet 3 is a Swedish car that was released in the 70s. Right after the Saab 96 ceased production, a car called the Saab Sonnet 2 was produced. They didn't make very many of those. They only produced those for about 2 years, and then the Saab Sonnet 3 came in. So the Saab Sonnet 3 is a Saab, so it's going to be a Swedish-made car, but it's got a Ford V4 engine. So a lot of people think of V, they think, it looks like a V, equal cylinders on each side, but you only see V6s and V8s, V10s, V12s. V4s are only something that were very common in communist Russia, and in these cars in Europe and a couple others that aren't heard of. So first, is that smart? When it comes to smart, I would classify that probably the least smart of all of them, only because that's more of a hobby thing. That is something that I've just always wanted to do with my dad and my grandfather before he passed. So, is it a legacy thing? Yes. Is it obtainable? Yes. I am someone who works with these cars every day. I help with market analytics for them, and it's very much so the world I live in. I know of at least a couple dozen that are for sale right now that I could get and restore. Is it measurable? Yeah, in 2 years to get a dream car I don't think is unreasonable, but like I said, it's not smart. It was between this or buying back my family farm, but with the way upstate New York land is, I think they're about the same. For educational, I would like to finish with my associate's degree in business administration in the next 2 years to help further my career, to increase my pay and allow me to provide for the family I would like. Is it realistic? Very realistic. Most people go to college, get a 2-year degree. It's something that's very important to my future wife and to me as well. So going and getting this degree is very important to me. Is it obtainable? Yes. I've got the funding. I've got the time. I hate school, but I've got the time. And it's something that's important. My second educational goal is going to be one that kind of contradicts my first goal. So I would also like to go to seminary to become a pastor. Now, I would not go to college and get a business administration degree and go to seminary to be a pastor. So it's kind of, my time is split between the two, and my decision is split between the two as to which I would do. Now, is that I would like to go to the Westminster Seminary in California, based off the Westminster Confession of Faith, is kind of the headquarters for Reformed theology. Is that realistic? Yeah. My mentor's gone to seminary, my pastor's gone to seminary. It's a process I'm very aware of. Is it obtainable? Yes. There's a seminary in I actually think it's I can't think of the name of it, but there's a Reformed Theological Seminary in Charlotte that's way closer. And it's something that I do feel like God's called me to. Some form of ministry. Obtaining that is just going to be the one piece of all of this that is probably different. Is none of this is my own 10-step plan. Romans 8:28, all those he foretold, he therefore predestined. So God's known everything that has been, and he knows everything that will be, for he is sovereign and eternal in a way that we can't comprehend. So there is no plan for how to achieve any of this. It's all I'm in his hands, and his will provide for me and make all of that clear. Thank you very much for your time.